inspired by a show on PBS called Things That Aren't Here Anymore. And it's about Los Angeles and some of the old establishments and architecture and businesses that really aren't necessarily around in LA. And I was watching that show going, that's a great way to program. So the programming I selected for the honor band are pieces of music that don't necessarily in the band world get as much play as they have in the past. And one of the fantastic things in the band world is we have a lot of new music. And so this first piece is 97 years old. 97 years old for Winds. It's older than that. But it's entitled Rosa Medra by British composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. Looks like Ralph, but is pronounced Rafe Vaughan Williams. And actually was written originally for organ. And the tune is basically a pretty basic Welsh folk tune. It actually translates to the word lovely. And we'll begin with this piece for band. Ralph Vaughan Williams, Rosa Medra. So the second piece is new. So we break our programming to do something a little new. In fact, quite a bit new. This piece is entitled Brooklyn Air by composer Michael Markowski, and I had the distinct pleasure last weekend to conduct this piece with another honor band, and I actually had the composer here for the weekend in Southern California. And so I had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with the composer and discuss his music, but also this particular piece. So just a little bit of background about Mr. Markowski. He's originally from Arizona, but resides now in Brooklyn, in New York City. And one of the things that he uses quite a bit to affect his programming or his compositions are the sights, the sounds, and the smells of New York City. So his director, who started him on music way back in the day, retired. And so for that particular retirement, this piece was commissioned by a series of schools across the country. However, the inspiration comes from the different sights and smells of Brooklyn. And he kind of thought of this as a jazz ballad in a way. So you're going to hear a lot of extended harmonies and a lot of interesting colors. And it begins with this really cool trombone, sort of asymmetrical glissando that's hidden by an ocean drum that's played in the percussion. So this particular piece is just fantastic music. It was composed in March of 2016, so it's rather new. And it's by composer Michael Markowski, Brooklyn Air. So our next piece is entitled Prelude, Siciliano, and Rondo by composer Malcolm Arnold. And it's 3 movements: Prelude, Siciliano, and Rondo. Each movement is distinctly different. Prelude is just that. It's sort of the opening into the piece. It's got moments of fanfare, it's got moments of all kind of just different things in the prelude. The Siciliano is much different. It's sort of the song. It's the more legato, cantabile, song-like movement of the 3, and the rondo is more like a dance, so to speak. So this particular work is kind of a staple in the band world. It's one of those pieces that most folks play at some point in time in the repertoire. It's one of those staple pieces. Composed by Malcolm Arnold, who was a British composer who wrote both large and small ensemble music, wrote for brass, and wrote for full winds. So this particular piece is in 3 movements, and if you would hold your applause until the end of the 3rd movement. So before we play our final piece, the Shostakovich Galop, I'd like to bring a couple of my colleagues out to just talk about a couple of events that are coming up next week and a little bit later in the spring that will be just fantastic music making and learning and collaborating opportunities. So if I can invite Dr. Karen Marston and Ariel Campos to the stage, please come on down if you can get your way through. So we'll let them speak just about a couple things. You might want to put these on your calendar. I think these are fantastic events, okay?
Thank you, Professor Whitmore, and I just wanted to say how pleased I am to get to hear the concert tonight. I did work this morning with the brass players, and I told them I would be listening to make sure they did all of the things that we worked on this morning, and they did. So very pleased to hear that. They sounded wonderful on the pieces that we've already heard. And I wanted to let all of you know that we have numerous special events here on campus, and I hope you'll come back and join us for some of them, starting with next week. On Saturday, February the 4th, we will be hosting Trombone Day, which is comes from a combination of different organizations working together here at Mount SAC. Bones West, together with Cal State Fullerton, Fullerton College, and Mount San Antonio College, sponsored together Trombone Day, which is an event for high school students and trombone enthusiasts from around the area. We have a special guest, Bob McChesney, who's a great international jazz artist who lives right here in Southern California. So we're fortunate to have him here next week. If you'd like to check out more about Trombone Day, you can go to tromboneday.com. That's where all the information is. That's an all-day event next Saturday for trombone players, but also for people who just want to hear great music. So you don't have to be a trombone player to be here next week and to participate. But I would definitely invite all of our trombone friends back next Saturday. I hope that we'll see you, and I hope that all of you will come back for future events here at Mount SAC. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Professor Campos. I'm Professor of Percussion here at Mount San Antonio College. And we are in the midst of growing our percussion field. That is the students who are studying percussion. So we're going from like 4, and hopefully we're going to be growing even stronger this spring semester. One great, and free by the way, so I hope everybody's marking this down. We're having a free event on Saturday, April 29th. It runs all day from 10 to 3, and then we're having a free concert right here in the recital hall next door. So if you're going to mark that down, it's open to everybody. It's really percussion driven, and I'm really proud to say that we've invited our guest artist, Miss Naoko Takada. She's an international marimba soloist. So she's played all over the world, and she currently teaches at USC, and she's agreed to join us here on that Saturday. So it's Saturday, April 29th. Okay? So thank you very much. Thank you.
So both of those events are just fantastic ways to become better musicians, to be exposed to new music, to hear some fantastic pedagogues who teach and just do amazing things as teaching artists, but they're both free, and they're both here at Mount SAC. And to sort of dovetail off of those two events, I'll never forget sitting in my high school band in Belleville, Michigan, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and having H. Robert Reynolds, who was then director of bands at the University of Michigan, who is now the conductor of the Thornton Wind Ensemble here at USC, come in and work with my high school band, and having that opportunity. And that led to me having the chance to then go and be in the Michigan Youth Wind Band, and then ultimately make it to the University of Michigan and become an undergraduate music ed major. So this experience for the students we've had since yesterday. They came on campus yesterday, they've been here for the evening, and then they're here all day today. Their band directors have referenced them and recommended them for this ensemble. I think is fantastic. We have 16 different high schools, all the way from out in the desert, in the Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage area, out into this particular area as well, going all the way out to Azusa, into Orange County. I think this kind of thing, the chance to come together, to make music together from different schools, and do that in a place where we can try to make some artistic things happen, is the kind of things that we would want our students doing. And the fact that 150 students today, on a Saturday, when they could have gone up and gone skiing or snowboarding, or they could have gone to the beach, or they could have just played video games, are willing to come in and make music and get better on their instruments, it says a lot about their band directors and about these young people. So can we give them a big round of applause? To thank my colleagues who are teachers, band directors in the K-12 area. And I taught for 13 years at Cathedral City High School. And what happens in high school band rooms and high school choir rooms and high school orchestra rooms is fantastic. So if there, any of the school band directors are here, if you would please stand, and can we give all those music educators a big round of applause for what they do? Thank you for once again sending students. We have t-shirts for you. So if you can make your way back to the Mount Sac Band Room, that would be terrific. And then 2 more quick recognitions, and then we'll get to the final piece with the honor band and then the wind ensemble. So a year ago, we decided to go ahead and make this part of what we do here at Mount Sac. And I proposed this idea to our department, and they were so enthusiastic and so excited. And one of the first people who said, "Great idea, let's do it," is our dean. And she's here tonight. Would you please welcome Dean Sue Long of the Arts Division. The theater staff and the ticketing staff, and Dahlia and Raul and Jay and all of the folks who helped to make this fantastic venue run. Every year it seems like I try to add something to these events to make things a little more difficult for them, and they're such professionals and they're such great collaborators, so if you just give them a big round of applause for all their work. So our final piece with the honor band, we'll have a quick intermission after the honor band, and then you'll hear the Mount Sac Wind Ensemble. This particular piece is a piece called Galop from a musical comedy by Shostakovich, Russian composer, and it's just a fantastic, fun piece of music. So the final piece for the Mount Sac High School Honor Band will be Shostakovich Galop.